time for abundance. And what does abundance mean? Abundance means the opportunity to think beyond the limits, thrive into success, and strive to be a better version than you are today. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrea Mason, your first choice, your global voice, alumna of Les Brown, and the CEO of Press Play. Plan Life According to You, LLC. I am truly honored to be here with an affiliate, a friend across the waters, across the borders, Zafar Abundance Wala of Global Abundance Organization. This is an amazing movement. It's not just a movement, it's a message and a mission to truly capture the essence that each and every one of us on this planet has to live with abundance. Ladies and gentlemen, I am truly honored to share this stage with Zafar. Zafar, assalamu alaikum. How are you doing, my friend?
Walaikum salam, Andrea. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking time and gracing the show and being the host on Abundance Show. And I'm truly honored. You like the journey I started with you has it has completed around 1.5 year now. And I whatever I'm today, you have a huge big role in Global Abundance Organization Foundation, and you have transformed your own life, like writing a book from victim to victorious, a kid of 11 pounds 11 months to do whatever you are. You're a powerhouse of transformation, and I'm to your testimony, honestly. So you not only worked very closely on me when I was going through tough times, and today you may take this program as your testimony. You can ask me questions, and how was I transformed through your strategies, through your own learnings, and especially the whatever you have learned from Les Brown, a great man on face of earth, and he himself an abundant person, abundance mindset. And thank you so much for unleashing abundance of health, wealth, and happiness for the globe. Back to
Absolutely.
you.
It's an honor and pleasure. Yes, I remember us connecting about a year and a half ago, and we were discussing of sharing the visions and experiences that we've had throughout our lives and saying, oh my goodness, this is amazing in one way, shape, or form that someone understands it. Someone gets it. Someone is going through the strife and the struggles, but still aiming what I call a aim, authentically integral mindset to move forward and level up. And that's what you have done. When we connected, we shared about our upbringing. We shared about that resilience to constantly rise and go from victim, not just of abuse and bullying, but the victim that we each have in our own minds, the doubts, the fears, the limiting beliefs. And you've taken our conversations, you've created and customized that opportunity of seeing that. I learned this about a few weeks ago, and I think it's just an excellent analogy of what you have done, if I may. You have looked at the opportunity of no longer being perfect, but perfecting a better version of you to the next level. You've done that for your family, you've done that for your household, you've done that for your community, your country, and just Asia in itself by reaching out to those and completely being vulnerable. And that's what I work with individuals because I had to go through it. If there's any way or opportunity that I can bring out the essence of that potential, bring out that essence of that there is something inside, there is a purpose, an abundance wavelength that you can bring to the table, that is what you have shown and shared the world, Zafar. You have done that. You have reached out and extended your hand and said, hey, live with abundance. Take action today. And I'm going to stand and support you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what Global Abundance Organization provides. That is what Zafar has taken our conversations, taken the pathways that we've looked of that methodology of choosing to press play, right? It's a choice. It's a choice to take not only plan, but prepare. It's a choice not only to live, but to learn and listen accordingly. It's not only an action of saying accordingly, but being accountable, being adaptable. And finally, it's your life, but saying yes to you. And that what he done, ladies and gentlemen. And it is just amazing to watch this young man take his strengths, utilize them, and take his adversities, animosities, and fears and do a 180 and say, that's okay. I'm human. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what we all are. We have to put in our mindset, that mind shift, regardless of race, color, creed, political views, or whatever. We are human. And what the beautiful thing about humans is that it's given us the opportunity to say we're not perfect, but we do have the opportunity to perfect ourselves each day. So far, I'd like to kind of go back to when we first connected. And you had, if I may, wanted to say, I just want to share it with the world. There's so much hurt and fear and solitude, especially within your community, especially for men and women. Women are fearful, but nobody's really being compassionate. The mindset of the men. We're supposed to be men are supposed to have strong mentality, warrior mindsets. But you were able to exemplify as a man yourself with a family. It's okay to be vulnerable because on the other side is victory. So, Zafar, let's go back to that beginning of what took the initiative to say, you know what, I'm going to come on camera and I'm going to make this action.
Well, as you said, we are not perfect, but we have the opportunity, always the opportunity to perfect, and to like trying to perfect things is something that as that's real human. I mean, human is always doing things better and from good to better and best. So that's like that's the in fact instinct, human instinct. And again, you're very right. As you said, the life is all about choices. The choices we choose. I mean, even happiness is a choice. Being sad is a choice. So that's I learned from you. And the time we met, it was very tough time. Like if even if when I want to go back, when we are born, we are free. You know, as a kid, we want to touch the stars and the sky is the limit. And you know, since you are born on the nature of creator, so the creator is abundant and you are abundant, you want to do everything as a kid, as a child. And then the people start telling you, man, you look like him or her, or you are. So they start, the people all around you start imposing their mindset on you. So
Mhm.
then that's where, I mean, your wings get cut, or like you they every person all around you, due to love, due to hate, or to whatever reason, they cut your wings. So then you can't fly. They become there. And if you live a people pleaser life, as we try to do early on, what happens, I mean, living a people pleasing life, it is tough. Like living somebody else's life, somebody else's purpose or mission, vision, whatsoever. It's how high could it be? But it's I mean, eventually, and after all, it's someone else's. So that was what I was doing, but I was exhausted. And as you say, enough is enough. There was, I mean, it was burning. You burned. And so, and that was the point when we met, and I was almost burnt. I was almost exhausted. Self doubts were all there, and it was all dark as your background. I mean, it's
Mhm.
absolutely. So it was jet black all around, and I couldn't. I wanted somebody, a mentor, some friend. I mean, who can just who can get me across the road, because I was all confused where to go. I was on the crossroad of my life.
Mhm.
So that's where you were gracious enough, and you took time out of your very busy life. I understand, as a busy professional, and since you're a global voice, and you have your own global tribe, people keep reaching you. I really thank you so much for taking me along the journey and taking me aboard. And then that's where you told me your story and you told me about your book. That's I'm again very eager, and I would like you to please let us know once again your about your book, and take us through all chapter by chapter, and what made you write the book, and do give us the entire experience, and again, and ultimately the people whose life was transformed, like I'm also the one. So
Mhm.
that's a small story, and that when you coming into my life, changing things, and it was a change of perspective, it was change of thinking, and you made me took choices, better choice, and to be yourself, or like do whatever you like, and take the good choices, and then I did that, and you were my strategist, you were my coach, you were my mentor. For that, I really thank you so much. Today I feel so abundant, I feel much better off. I have interviewed quite a lot of people, like more than 300 people. I've got more than 400 videos on Gao TV, on the same channel, through Abundance Show. I've been talking to people all around, and it's been so amazing experience. And I came across the people who were really worried. When I compare my worry or my things or whatever I was going through, it is just nothing. Honestly, it's not a proportionate. It's not a 1% of what people are going through. So then it gave me a lot of strength, and then I just stood up and I said, "Oh man, come on! The life is like full of opportunity. There is abundance is all around." And that's what the point of time when I found Global Abundance Organization, and then I decided, as you decided, to write the book, and write down that you wrote your experiences for the next generations of the people who are living now also, and that was the decision of abundance. So the
Mm.
abundance is like the full of life, full of opportunities. And right now, as you see the advent of technology, things are so abundant. I mean, in 2040, there won't be any poverty. The people won't be homeless. People won't be hungry. There would be health facilities and living. So right now, in the era of AI, and where artificial general intelligence tests are already there, and then very soon there will be artificial super intelligence. So this is the real era of abundance. To take your choices. I would want anybody who's listening or watching to this, and Andrea Mason, Andrea.com is there. She's available. She's such a coach. She's such a mentor. She's such a friend, and since she knows the psychology of woes, worries, and on hardships. She knows the real tools, technology, insight. She knows the DNA of and that she has the data of how it hurts, how it feels when you are all alone, how it feels when you feel so doubt, when you doubt yourself. That's the worst thing. And doubting yourself is not only the worst thing, but the feelings of
Mm.
and the feeling that you are having, that you are being neglected, or you are being rejected. And so these feelings are so miserable. I mean, like the feelings of the adding few, it's like adding misery, like adding insult to the misery. So I mean, she has written an entire book, and I would want you to please uh, get us your journey also, and how's your journey from 11 months, 11 pounds to whatever you are today, and then writing the book, and being the mentee of Les Brown also. Back to you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to express myself on the show Abundance. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And the beauty about it, Zafar, that you took the initiative to take action. And that's what a lot of people don't do. A lot of people don't take the initiative of that action profile to say, hey, I need to be accountable. I need to be responsible. Nobody is going to do it. Nobody's going to go to Pakistan and say, oh, Zafar, I know him. Let me share him. You have to put yourself out there. And so, one of the tactics that I've learned was when I connected with the legendary Les Brown, I said, you know what? I'm going to take this seriously because I have nothing. It was the beginning of an era of when the world was unbeknownst to anyone else. We did not know clarity. It was uncertain. Everything was chaotic. And I said, oh my goodness, I have to take this initiative. And so I made that investment in myself when I knew I didn't have anything. And I said to my family, I'm going to take the leap of faith For once, I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight, and just say, I'm going to invest in me and take that opportunity to be the best version I am. And I remember one of Les's quotes saying, are you going through it or are you growing through it? And boom, Zafar, that was just like, all right, I need to grow through this. I have to, I can, I've had enough to deal with my emotions for right now. I've been crying, I've been a solitude, I've been woe is me, but I need to take action, or because I'm going to stay there. I'm going to stay stagnant. And we are creatures of comfort, where we look at the opportunity, where we say, all right, is this something that that I can change, control, or cure? And in America, that's kind of like the 12-step rule. So for those who don't know, I have over 2 decades in social work and psychology industries. And so I've like, this is applicable to anybody. You don't have to have an addiction. An addiction doesn't have to be alcohol or drugs. It could be that negative role that you constantly play in your head of those who have sabotaged your demeanor. And Zafar, I love how you brought the imagery. And ladies and gentlemen, if you missed it, go on the playback. Zafar said, when we grew up, when we're born into this world, our Creator has given us the opportunity to be free, free will, to make that opportunity to make a choice. Sure, as my mom said before she moved on, she said, well, these are the cards that I was dealt, and I'm going to play the hand out. And so what we have to do, we can look at that glass half empty or half full. But in the end, it's up to you and your faith system to really say, let's get in alignment and let's figure out and take action. We are too smart. We are too strong to settle, because if we settle, we suffer. So to your point, this is the book that he's referencing, ladies and gentlemen. It can be found on Amazon. And if you're out across the waters and borders, it's found on Amazon and Amazon.uk. It's called The Victim. Oops, my notes. It's called Victim to Victorious. And this is my mom right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is my inspiration. And her name was Victoria. So I thought it was just suitable to add Victorious into it, because it was an homage to my parents. And so Les Brown did do the forward to this. And so if I may, well, you can't see really, but you can, there are 8 chapters. And the beauty of the way that I constructed this, in the back, I have given the readers opportunities to take notes in the back end. And so what I discovered when I made this transitional shift, I decided to take action. I'm not going to spoil alert, because I'd love you to read it and really take your takeaways to it. But I'll do an overview real quick of a summary of it. It's a journey of every human that is going through something, whether it's poverty, whether it's suffering, whether it's abandonment, whatever the case may be. But this is the roadmap that we all endure on some level at some point in our life, regardless of children, teens, young adults, older adults, or even sometimes people experience this later in their golden years. And it talks about the stair steps of victim to victorious. So I'll kind of give you a preface of the outline of the book, and then I'll let you guys kind of noodle on what you think it is, and then it is available to you on Amazon. And the links, I'm sure I'll provide Zafar to kind of provide to you. But we talk about, the first chapter introduces us as really honing into who you are, self-discovery and self-awareness. Who am I? Zafar had mentioned earlier on that we have these identity shifts once we get into our external communities, even within our family. Oh, she's the smart child. He's the daredevil. He's the one that, is the problem solver. We already have these pre-programmed titles that we haven't even fully developed to create our own. Second chapter talks about mind over matter, questioning and challenging yourself. and utilizing the tactics that are taught in the Eastern cultures overseas of really embodying a vision of who you are and what is your faith? Do you have a faith base? And if you don't, what is the direction and path that is your light into leadership? Chapter three talks about investing in you financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically. What are you putting into your body as nourishment? How are you maintaining your temple, that of your body? Your mind is the most powerful muscle. Think about it. There's been scientific studies that what you, as the late great Bob Proctor, who saved my life, which is also talked about in this book, if you can see it in your mind, you could hold it in your hand.
Oh, wow.
It is just amazing and how you can do that. If you see something and fully appreciate and grab it, it's part of the secret. And you have that embodiment of, oh my goodness, and accepting it as it is already happens. And there's a scripture parallel to that, that it will happen. Investing in you financially. What are the deposits you're making every day into your body, into your home, into your family? Whether that be food, materialistic items, and so forth. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I mean, I'm so sorry for the interruption, but if you can see in your mind, you can hold in your hand. I like
Yes,
to have, I want you to elaborate it more just because this is like, I mean, big dream, having a purpose in life, or, seeing the big picture, going bold and grabbing and embracing it. So I would want you to please elaborate a little more.
absolutely. And this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I'm gonna kind of refresh Zafar's mind because when we connected, I said to him, I'm not. This is what I work, and I walk with you on your journey. So, but I would like to share it in the concept of today's segment. I said to Zafar, I said, "Well, what do you want? Where do you see yourself?" And I kept asking him and asking him, check our playbacks. He'll go into the playlist on YouTube, on his streams. Go on my page, Andrea Mason, on all my platforms. I have all the interviews and even the segments when we did every day. And he said, I just want the world to experience abundance. I said, well, what does that look like? And I kept prodding and prodding and prodding. And I said, well, do me a favor, write it down. Remember this? Write it down. What does that look like? Who are you connecting it? How are you going to exemplify and exert this vision? And he, at first, he was just like, "Well, I don't know." He was kind of hesitant. I said, "Let's elaborate on it." And as he was talking, I said, "Well, okay." And he's like, "Well, I would be a host. I would have a safe space of community of people around the world. I would have merchandise, which I love that shirt. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, check out his merch because it's awesome. It's gold, it's platinum. That's what you're worth. Gold is unbreakable and it's so valuable. But to your point, if you could let Bob Proctor, he is crossed over and I was devastated because he saved my life in the hospital. He was one of the virtual coaches on the routine habitual rituals that I've embodied in my life. And on The Secret, he says, dis-ease cannot withstand a healthy emotional mindset. And I was fighting for my life in the hospital. And I had been introduced to The Secret. Check it out. It's on YouTube, it's on DVD, it's on Netflix, I believe. I don't know if they took it off, but I had been introduced to The Secret in 2006, maybe. And a colleague of mine at the time gave me the manuscript. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And then 9 years later, the visual version of the movie came out. And during that period, I had lost my mother, and it was just terrible, like tragic. And I was like, really? God, you took another mother from me? Like, what's going on here? And the point is the law of attraction, the secret, and manifestation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually doing this right now. If you want a life of abundance, see it in your mind. If you want the life of appreciation, live a lifestyle of gratitude. If you want a life of transformation, you got to transform yourself. So the investing in you is the one of the most powerful, if any, chapters in Victim to Victorious, because it talks about the deposits and withdrawals that you make a choice within your lifetime. And to your point, Zafar had this image, we connected, and he was adamant, passionate that he wanted to educate the individuals of the world, his brothers and sisters, that there is a life of abundance. And we worked together, we walked together, we talked about it, we got excited, the emotions were up and down, and he's a testimony. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Back to you.
Thank you so much. And when when talking about this, I was remembering that you were so committed with me by then. And even if when you were driving, you had long drives, and we were having the whole long show on in your car. And then I see when you were in the markets, you were talking. They were, I mean, you were working to working towards clients, and so I was just thinking of your commitment was so amazing that you not only made me visualize the future, like, I mean, like as you said, whatever you can see in your mind, you can hold in your hand. This is so powerful, and it has created what I am today, honestly. And and thank you so much for taking me along the journey and making me think. At that point of time, when you're all in dark, you can't see, but you made me see. I mean, it was like all storm was all around. I mean, I couldn't even open my eyes, and so just because once you're in situation and you can't think, although you can't see whatever is right in front of you. I mean, you somebody asks, "What is this?" You don't know what's this. So it was that kind of a situation. But I mean, you made me see, and you not only made me see, but you created, I mean, you create my future. And if I can think, then you talked about my kids and my everything, and even my routines, and you went so deep down into everything. So I owe you everything, and today I am. And that there was a point of time when it was very difficult to even think of something better in your life. But today, I mean, after trusting you, and I remember you said, I mean, trust me until unless you trust yourself. It was
Right.
so powerful. It was so powerful, like a small kid, like holding some elder's hand, and you're crossing the road, or like, I mean, anything difficult. I mean, or like passing any difficulty. So I mean, when I look back, it was so enchanting, so mesmerizing, and you were always very mindful of the respect, the prestige, and I mean, you were always mindful of uh, my honor, honestly. And you never let me down. You never said a sentence, or not even a word you uttered that was negative. No, you kept you took me through things, through thick and thin of the, like that, which is so amazing. Honestly, I cannot thank you enough, Andrea. Back to you.
No, and that's what it's about. I've been through ups and downs in my life, and it happens every now and again, but it's about the perspective. I believe it is Maya Angelou. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And during my life growing up, my only safe haven was the four walls of my home, my parents. And to go through a time where you're vulnerable, where you don't know which way to turn, where you feel like you're constantly being judged. And you address this too, Zafar, about that people pleasing mentality. That's a dangerous and toxic mindset to be in because number one, you lose your identity. Number two, you're breaking the creation of the mold that your creator gave you. You know, everybody questions their faith. And I did. Like I said, I'm just now getting back into my faith. It's been a long time. However, in order for someone to thrive and go through something, to have that individual to say, hey, I've been there. Hey, I've done that. Or just say, here's a shoulder. I'm here for you. That is something that I take seriously and personally with every connection I make, whether it be familial, professional, or even in just a room of strangers. Because I believe every sentence, every word, every action, every body movement and energy that I bring to the room, I'm responsible for. I can walk into a room of individuals who are toxic and say, I'm going to change my channel. And I talk about it in my book. I'm going to change the channel. And recently I've entered into a community where the environment is very toxic. Judgment, gossip, negativity, focusing on that. And another thing that I've learned from some of the greats in this industry is that energy flows where focus goes. So when I go into that community, I bring the energy. I smile. I say, this is not the day I'm going to have. And I'm going to shift it and bring the energy I'd like to experience with me. Now, is that to some may seem conceited, to others may seem fake. But those are the individuals that are either not ready or not willing. And what I've learned so far, and I know you have talked about this on other interviews or platforms, is something to the nature of this. When you place expectations upon others, you get disappointed 100% of the time because you think that individual is like you. You think that their intention is similar to you. Oh, we're in the same industry. We've got it. How many times have you showed up and nobody showed up? How many times have you said, I've got you? And when you're there, crickets. How many times have you said, I will be there? You go there, and then you share a support, an announcement of yours, and it's dismissed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why play is so powerful. Because you're planning life according to you, not anybody else. Nobody's living your life. And Zafar and I had conversations, sidebar, where we said, we either cried, we either just sighed, or we just kind of sat in silence like, what's going on? And these are the conversations that's not on social media. Nobody's talking about. Everybody's celebrating their wins. Everybody's celebrating one another. But you see them the next day or the next week, they don't even know what you're doing. They don't even know what happened. It's just a stat for them. Likes, dislikes, judgment. And that is what I feel and believe that social media is turning out to be. And so I'm here to tell you, just like anything in this world, create and utilize the tools that we are given to transform rather than conform. If you look at AI, there's so much out there that the I don't know if anybody understands the effect on this, but our younger generations at the time, depending where they're at, don't know what is real and not. And that's why I come up to the stage on a platform in person. What you see is what you get. That's just how it is. If I'm in the car, if I'm in bed, or if I'm, whatever the case may be, but I will show up. I'm not giving up. But there has to be a level of respect for yourself. What you allow others. Maybe about a year now. Time is not of the essence because I don't pay attention to time anymore, really, because I'm living in the moment. And I connected with this gentleman, and we were sharing war stories, kind of venting and everything. And one of the quotes, I'm not sure if it was his, but if it was, shout out to him. But it was in the context of go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Boom, mind blowing. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Why would I go to a community environment where people are just kind of taking it for as it is, face value, than where people are saying, hey, this is what I'm learning, but this is what I contribute. And Zafar had mentioned that's what I have honed my whole life about throughout this transformation is it's not about me. It's about what I've experienced to share with you, to take with as what you may and modify it and customize it to your own. So, Safar, let's go through the segment of where we were as you were developing GAO to I remember we were getting you prepared to come on live and when you were going to start your own production. Walk us through that journey, which is actually going back to what I discuss in chapter 4, creating your environment, what your thoughts are, and then taking that leap of faith.
I remember so well. You wanted me to narrate my story and feature it, and doesn't matter whatever you come across, is it success or not, or the data. Just because there is no failure, there is success or the data. Like I mean, why do we take failure just because we think that's a failure? So that thinking is a failure. But I mean, so I in fact I trusted you as I remember you said, I mean, trust me until and unless you trust yourself. So I trusted you, and since you knew the process, and and since you wrote, you got less prawn on your back and in your brain also, and he is what he is word you sow your brain, and then you that intellect, and then you were passing to me, and that was very difficult time, honestly, even to trust someone, just because you've been mistrusted, you've been distrusted, and as you said, I mean, I mean, go where you're so celebrated, not where you're tolerated. So the things were all around there their way. And why? I mean, it was none of others' mistake. My first realization was it is not as someone else's mistake. It's you being the people pleaser, and you decided, you took your own choices which were all wrong, maybe, or maybe not the right one, or and then you uh, talk to me and make me talk to myself, like you wanted me to meet myself, my soul, sit in the solitude, talk to yourself, meet the child in your side. So meet the child inside, I remember. So those all things got me back to and those got me meet myself. Also, when I met myself, I was a person who was very brave, not brilliant but brave. I have been, and the bravery was, and what I lost. during the course of people pleasing, and that I lost that. I became very coward, more like very suspicious, suspected to the things, or you know I started doubting the same things I was trustworthy of. Same those things, the 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 things which were my power used to be my powers, and the trust in the creator. Honestly, I lost completely. Maybe I should not say the completely, but somehow I lost trust in the creator and eventually in myself. So you were the one who took to take me back to the trust, and those the conversations. I always doubted the conversation before, or the earlier on. But since we were featuring all this, trust me, these books, these the write-ups, these quotes, like go where you celebrated, not you're tolerated, or like trust yourself until and anything like the global abundance on it. These words, these are so powerful. The discussions change your life. These rewire your brain. So that you rewired my brain, and then you took me. It was a kind of reset. You took me back to basics, where I came from. You aligned my me to my DNA. So when I was got closer to my mean position, whatever the actual personality I've had, so that's where I started rebuilding. So this is the process of it's very difficult process. It's very hard to trust in the time of mistrust, to see while all around is dark, to take somebody as a friend when everybody has gone otherwise, or like you think people have gone otherwise. So then it is very difficult to take the choices. So this is the book that you have written. Each chapter takes people back to their mean position. Like the creator has created us on his nature, and he is abundant, he is positive, he is prosperous, he is enlightened, he is so positive. So yeah, so that's the book. It's not just a book of few pages, or like or a few hundred pages. It's in fact it's like it's a rope that or the milestones that takes you to where your way was forgotten. It takes you back to that position until unless where you knew everything were so sure of you, and you were so sure of things. So again, I would thank you, and thanks for letting your story feature in the book, and writing your book and writing your own story. And thank you so much for being brave and telling your story, and thank you so much for being victorious. Thank you so much. The journey that you have featured, it's in fact, it is so much. It takes so much of guts and bravery to do that. I would want you to please explain. Just let us know what was that point of time when you decided to write all experiences that you had, and you paved the way for the generations next through your book, From Victim to Victorious. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, thank you for recognizing it, because that was really the intent of writing the book. Was I just don't want this to be a page turn. I want this to be an experience, a vulnerable experience where I am unveiling what I actually went through. But if you see in the when you see in the book, you see I share an experience. I talk about a thought, I share the experience, and then I say, this is the action steps that I've taken. And the beauty of it is that I do have a workbook that is coincides with the book, so that they can actually take that initiative. And what allowed me to say, you know what, I'm going to press play on this was because I believe, if my memory serves me right, and I'm going to fact check it because I don't want to give poor information, but I believe the inception of these stories were just one pagers that I said, I got to get this out because it was so toxic and it was suppressing in my subconscious and being a part of the mold that I was in the dark, as you say, in the fetal position of fear. And I would write these one pagers, and it wasn't until I believe it was, I want to say, I have it on my phone. I believe it was, I think, 2019, I had the epiphany, or maybe it was earlier than that. I had the epiphany and said, I really want to get this out to the public. But you had my ego on the other side saying, well, if you do, how deep are you going to go? How exposed are you going to go? So yeah, it was actually July 9th, 2019. I'm a tracker, ladies and gentlemen. I have in my phone like data of everything because I need to know, as Steve Jobs says, if you connect the dots backwards, you understand where you are today. You had to go through those experiences. And for those of you in the faith space or have some concern, why me? Shift it. Shift that question. We can take any words, they are spells, and shift it to a positive life. Instead of saying, and Tony Robbins goes into this, why me? Say, why me? Why are you giving me this? And one of the underlying threads was a lot of faith leaders that I am connecting with recently say, well, you were chosen because he knew you can handle it, nobody else. And when you connect with individuals such as Zafar with a great big heart who believes in you, you've helped me. You've helped me, Zafar, believe in myself before others could at that time because I was developing level 2.0. I was figuring out how to make this even more impactful because I was seeing the rippling effect across the waters and borders. And it was just a flat-lined river at home. Why aren't my friends seeing this? Why isn't my family supporting this? Why isn't people I've grown up with seeing this? And I learned, and they teach this 101 in entrepreneurship and business. If you're for everyone, you're for no one. So I had to find my tribe. I had to find like-minded individuals that were resilient and ready to rise. I had to find those victims who are ready to become victorious, those invisible individuals to be invincible. So the first step I had to take was to forgive. Ladies and gentlemen, Lewis B. Smeets talks about this concept to achieve, and I'm going to paraphrase, to achieve to forgive someone is to set a prisoner free, only to realize the prisoner is you. To forgive someone, to set a prisoner free, only to realize the prisoner is you. And I had to forgive myself. I was holding these grudges. I was holding this weight. Why don't they do this? Why don't they like me? Why didn't this happen? Why isn't it happening on my time fast enough? Why are all these situations happening? And I had to forgive myself. I had to break that savior mentality. It's not my role. to control others. It's not my role to take on everybody's weight. So I had to forgive them for they not know what they've done. And if they did, still forgive them, but forgive myself to let it, so I can be free. So, ladies and gentlemen, on that segment, you are going to stay tuned because, as always, I do have precious time. But, Zafar, assalamu alaikum to you and your family. I am truly blessed for this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, I celebrate. Celebrate and join me as I celebrate him across the world as a man I have not met, but in my heart of hearts, I know we have met in a lifetime before, now, and going forward. Back to you.
Thank you so much. It's each word you say, each sentence you say, they're so structured. You're so professional. Frankly, I've learned so many things, even how to talk or like how to conduct the show. And I'm so honored that you have taken the seat of host on Abundance Show more than two times now. So
Mhm.
I want to share also one more thing.
Yes.
It's like it's one thing is like is losing. I mean, if you lose time, money, effort, or relationships, or anything in your life. So one, this is one loss. If it is a loss. Number two, the misery about this is the loss that you create for yourself. You keep thinking you are in the loop, and then as you said, I mean, this is all about taking choices. I took the choice, and you were the mentor. And one what the most beautiful thing that has happened during the course of line was asking,
Mhm.
ask for time, ask for opinion, ask for any beautiful and any beautiful thought. Reach out people, and uh, this is very difficult. We think, though, since I'm nobody, so nobody knows me. How should I reach out? Andrea Mason, she's such a big writer. She's written a book, Victim to Victorious. She's alumni of Les Brown. She's an accountability coach. She's CEO of Press Play, and she has got her own global tribe. She's so busy. She does not have time for a person like myself. In I mean, from and then I'm not known to her, and it. But I mean, I did. I reached right now. I I have got more than 5,400 people on LinkedIn. These are the real life connections, honestly. And I have podcasted more than 350 people from the and those all are top notch professionals, very busy people. It was all time I've been asking, and I mean if you multiply it with five times, like I've asked 25,000 people for the connection request, and I've got 5,500 something as my connections, and then out of those I could feature 300 and 350 maybe, or maybe 60 or 70 people out of all my connections. So this is the algorithm I have learned, that you have to be reaching out to lot many people. Find your tribe, find find your friends, those who celebrate you. There are a lot like yourself. There are a lot.
Mhm.
There are no one, two, three. There are a lot, but I mean, you are not reaching them out. You are sitting and close behind the closed doors. That's all dark, and you are prisoner of your thinking. You are
Mhm.
not forgiving yourself. You are not releasing your prisoner, and it is you who's got to take choices, who's got to decide. Come on. If you don't want to come on today, this is the era of exponential technologies. You have AI. I have made such an other. I always think that I have abused this AI, and I have written so many letters, so many emails, so many texts through I mean, taking help of AI. And since this is not my first language, and I'm so poor in expressing. Uh, you would find a lot of like, I mean, I'm not even not a fluent speaker also, and I took the technology's edge, and I could make like I sitting in a very small town in Pakistan, and Pakistan again is a third world country, and we do not have any Grok 3 or Gemini or anything, and then, but I mean we have got few like Saleh Asif, I mean, who's got 64 billion deal with his friends, co-founders of the Cursor AI. He's from Pakistan, so so trust. We have to trust ourselves. We have to find, and we need to ask, and and I am now I am about to kickstart the businesses, and through with the person to another person, and with the organization to another organization. I am collaborating them. It's like I'm not an engineer, not an astronaut, or not somebody who's NASA scientist, or someone who's so huge, but I know them. I know NASA scientists, I know astronauts, I know the engineers, doctors, chartered accountants, and so I can get them connected. So, so that's where I take my position as an amplifier of the connection, or somebody who's connected. So that's my position. I love to connect with people. I love to hold discussions. I really enjoy discussions, and that's what changes your life. And that's these discussions, these, I mean, I would request anybody who's watching us, or who can watch later on, or who can ever, this is not a simple video. This is a booklet, and this video is especially book of the book. So this is a video book. I mean, and this is entire story of Andrea Mason. Her story, even it has the flavor of Les Brown, and it has lot many other people's flavor in it, and it's such an amazing recipe of success. And I would want everyone to read the book and follow the 12 rules that she explains in the book, and 8 chapters in the book, and I would want everybody to listen and watch Andrea Mason's videos, and there is a lot to learn. Even you would learn how to conduct an interview, or how to talk, or I mean her sentences are so structured, and the language is so amazing and professional. Even I have learned quite a lot, although I mean it may not be the 1% of what you are today, but I mean I'm learning that I have the inspiration, and that's Andrea Mason. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Zafar. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an amazing honor. And I say thank you so much for your time, because time is a gift. It cannot be wasted, given back, or abused. But your presence, PRESENCE, is my gift. So I will leave you this. We will continue this segment on. I am going to reunite and reconnect with my brother across the waters, across the borders, Zafar, again. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I want to share this with you as I am going through some things. I've been on a hiatus for some time now, and I'm back in action. Today is a new day. Instead of saying one day, today is day one for me again. I want you to take this with a grain of salt. Legendary Don Shula is a legendary NFL coach. And he was the only NFL coach, for those of you who are watching internationally, national football, the tackle with the pigskin ball. He said, it's the start that stops most people. It's the start that stops most people. So I say today, start now. Start today. And choose to press play. Plan life according to you. Ladies and gentlemen, follow your heart, not the herd nor the hurt. For success and joyfulness are on the other side. I am truly honored and blessed. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Right here, you can see AndreaMasons.com is my website. I have a launching up a 2.0 level website coming along. If you want to connect with me, connect with me. My email is am.pressplay@yahoo.com. Zafar will have all that in the show notes. I look for your connection. I am blessed and highly favored because of you. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for celebrating Zafar. And I will see you real soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Stay blessed and bye bye. It was
Okay.
great honor being my host on Abundance Show. Thank you. Thank you so much, Andrea. Great
Thank
to
you.
have you. Thank you so much. Stay blessed and bye bye.